These are all the objectives for your CEU, and I'm not going to go through that or read those off. The three things I want you to keep in mind, though, being number one isn't always where you belong or what you want. Number two, ABA is a tool, not the toolbox itself. And the last one, relationships are the most important of all in anything you're doing, business or personal. Keep these three things in mind throughout this presentation. So the reality of my journey, I thought pro sports was gonna be the thing. I had an opportunity as a junior in college. I was a 4-year starter, 2-year captain, 2-time all-conference, freshman college athlete of the year. After my junior season, I got some offers for some tryouts for pro ball, and I said, you know what, I'm the first one to go to college in my family. I promised my mom a degree. Let me get even more prepared because I didn't expect this. Like I never really expected it would go that far. Well, senior year, first game, second quarter, inside of my ankle touched my groin. Done. Absolutely, there was no thinking about playing again. Cast it hip to toe, 9 months, took a year and a half to walk again. Went home, now I'm teaching second grade. I'm working 3 nights a week, graveyard shift at 24-hour fitness, and I'm a bouncer on the weekends. I didn't know what to do with myself. So I said, you know what, I've always loved school, I'll go back. And I ended up looking through different psychology programs because I was a psych major, and behavior analysis popped across my screen and it just made sense. I think we've all had that moment where like, duh, right? It works. And so I went to grad school. Now in grad school, everybody was talking about this thing called autism, and I had no idea what that was. Never heard of it. And so I said, well, if everyone in class is talking about it, I might as well be involved because I don't want to sit here and not have anything to say. And so I've done everything from what back then was an entry-level interventionist, there was no RBT, into when they had those tiered manager systems. You guys remember those? If they're still out there, I'm not sure. All the way up into being offered the opportunity to be a clinical director. And I said no, because I'd rather be on a football field with 14 to 18-year-olds running into each other at full speed. That's just what I'd rather do. So I decided to do that. Now, while I was in grad school, I did the poster submissions. My grad school department chair convinced me, run for ABAI Executive Council as grad school rep. We're gonna help push it. We're gonna get everybody to vote. I won the vote, and now I'm 1/7 of the vote for our entire organization, sitting in the meetings with the names that we all read about, with the people we all go see do keynotes. And it was during the time, I don't know how old everyone is in here, but during the Alamo, you remember that? Anybody here? During that time, San Antonio, huge issue. We had to have a town hall meeting where Ray Miltenberg had to fall on his sword for everybody for making mistakes. I saw it all. I published in JABA a research paper talking about the effectiveness of verbal instruction and clicker training, or tag teach, on high school football tackling, which just recently in the new Cooper edition is now under the shaping section in our flagship textbook, right? Thank you. And I was a grad school professor, and I still am. Now I just teach for University of West Florida because I've able to work it out so that I only teach the class that doesn't have live lectures. I record my lectures, put them in a Google Drive. There you are. But you can contact me anytime. And working with autism agencies. But here's what happened. Nobody cared. Nobody did. They didn't. Especially with the work I was interested in. Very cool stuff, just not applicable to me. I was broke. And I was burnt out. I just wasn't happy. And I saw everyone around me starting to quit the job. And I said, you know what? Screw this. I've gone the traditional route that they've told me. I'm not getting ahead. I don't feel, what am I gonna wait till I'm 70 to, get tenure somewhere and then maybe get some sort of position that's gonna let me buy a house? Not doing it. But at the same time, I was coaching high school football. I was the 7th youngest in the nation, 3rd youngest in the state of California as a head varsity football coach. I was doing podcasts right after grad school. I went to a 36-week intensive radio broadcasting program, met someone there. We ended up doing a podcast that got up to 30K internationally, with our biggest group being university librarians and Australian truck drivers. I didn't know no one lives inland in Australia. Everyone's on the coast. So the trucks are a huge system, right? Started doing fitness instruction, behavior change clients, personally for mine, private pay. Then all of a sudden getting offers to consult and do OBM. Virtual reality came along the way, and we'll talk about that. And then speaking engagements, as well as now having a clothing line and journal brand. In the last 2 years, I've had 25 plus invited speaking engagements. In April, I'll be going to Alaska for a week. And now I have 7 streams of income. I don't say that to stroke my ego. Don't worry, I do that enough for myself, okay? I say that to let you know it's very possible with behavior analysis to do what you want to do. Now, if you want to work in the population with autism, awesome, bless you. You guys know there are not enough of us to do that. We don't have enough of us. But if you don't, and you're looking for something different, or you have an employee or a student who says, this just ain't for me, but I love the science, there's a way for them to make a living and still make a huge impact on their world or the world at large. So what did this provide me? I won my time back. That was the biggest thing for me. The beauty of this entrepreneurship, which there is no other word for something in the middle, bipreneurship, that's kind of what I came up with. It works for me. It's all on me. I don't rely on anyone else. Some people don't like that. I'm fine with betting on me. I've always betted on me. If you have any history or knowledge of my background growing up, it was about betting on myself. Otherwise, I didn't know where I was going to get my next meal from. I've streamlined everything using behavior analysis and self-monitoring, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit. And I've come to realize my purpose in behavior analysis is dissemination, and not dissemination within our field. You guys know each other. You see each other. You read about each other. And it's awesome to walk out of a conference into the hallway and have people shake your hands. But if we walk outside of the conference building and nobody knows us, what are we doing? What are we doing with the science that we have? So with all the things that I've mentioned that I do, you might go like, man, because I've heard a lot of people talk about work-life balance. There's no way you have a good work-life balance. Quite actually the opposite. I'm very much about my work-life balance, life being the number one, hands down. For example, my phone is on constantly do not disturb unless you are a starred contact. I answer my emails once a day. People get used to it. I'll let you know. If I read that email beforehand, I'll get to you. If not, you got to wait till the next day to hear from me. That's how I control my time. My time. Every morning I get up, I got 2 to 2.5 hours to myself before I've got to wake up the kids. And I get to do everything that's me. People talked about that again up here. How do you kind of get aligned with yourself? That's what I do. Sometimes, yes, it is exercise, meditation, journaling, reading a little bit. And other days, it's just sitting on the porch for 2 hours with a coffee and my cigarette and ease myself into the day so that I'm not waking up to an alarm on my phone, hustling to go get the kids, to hustle to get them lunch, to get them breakfast, to hop in the car and take them there. No, I stroll into their room and open the curtains. I don't bumble and fumble into their room. VR, virtual reality. I film once a week. That's it. And I've managed it that way because of the way I've streamlined my efforts in my work. I'm slotted for 4.5 hours every week. I come in and knock it out in 1.5 to 2 and I'm done. I don't touch it again until the following week. Football, it's seasonal and it's what I love. And I heard some people talking about kind of knowing yourself, and I think there was a young person in the room who asked, what do you do basically in a situation where ethics is an issue and you get to decide whether or not you want to leave something? Every job I've ever had at an autism agency, the first thing I tell them is, I coach high school football. During the season, this is the time of practice, these are when games are. You cannot schedule me there. If you do, when the season comes up, I'm out of here. All of them go, don't worry about it. Clients that I have, personal clients, group clients, Calendly with my set preferences. We're not scheduling a session outside of there. If you can't find that time to make it a priority to work with me, then it ain't that big a deal for you, or someone else out there can help you. That's just the case for me. Podcast, recording, once a week. Edit that same moment, Post it up, schedule it. Consultation, it's by contract. And I lay out how many hours I'm gonna give you. And that's what I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you the best hours, but those hours are it. Speaker, hell, I'm here for 2 days. 2 days. And guess what? I leave here tomorrow morning early just so that I can get back to watch 2 basketball games from my middle and youngest son and a baseball game from my oldest. Because that is what's most important for me. I remember on our panel, Brett was talking about how in New Hampshire, I literally coached a football game, hopped on a red eye, came in, got there, I want to say around 12 p.m., did my talk at 3, I was out the door, went right back home. You get to control all of that. And what's my prize? I never miss family events. Plays, sporting events. I've left a conference early and paid an extra $200 because my son's team made the Super Bowl in flag football. That's my priority. Because at the end of the day, my clients may be paying me, but they can leave me for you, or you. Who's gonna handle me when I'm pissed off, hurt, upset, or joyful? They are. When I walk into my home, that's my safe haven. So I need to take care of that first along with me before anybody else. I also get a lot of time for cool goals. I like learning new stuff. I'm gonna participate in an American Cornhole League professional tournament in June. I shit you not, I practice every single day for an hour out back. I came here and was like, what am I gonna do? I can't practice. Oh, I brought my VR headset. They have cornhole and virtual reality. We'll work on our finesse game, right? I'm doing 75 hard. Who's heard of that before? I'm in the middle of it right now. Do you know how hard it was to sit at dinner and watch free drinks go around? And I just had to steal water from people, right? But hey, it's something new and challenging for myself. And now that Supernatural, that we can make it public, it was a startup. It has now been acquired after 8 months in federal court with the FTC, has now been acquired by Meta. So now I've been given the green light to be able to do the other things that I want to do, like beef up my YouTube channel, which was on pause because of all of this. But again, the prize is it's all on me. It's mine. I get to decide all of this stuff. You don't have to follow any of it. You may say like, that's a little bit too much putting your family and yourself first versus your business. Cool, do you. That's how I roll though. So remember the real as we get through this here. Being number one isn't always where you belong or what you want. ABA is a tool, not the toolbox itself. Relationships are most important. Approaches to entrepreneurial ABA. I've seen 2 different approaches so far. I haven't seen anybody kind of do this. And again, this is outside of autism. However, if you pay attention to what I'm saying, I think you can pull things out regardless of the industry that you're in. One of the approaches that's the most common is ABA up front. We are an ABA sports company. We are an ABA this and ABA that, putting it right into their face. And that was my first venture. I tried that. Doc's Daily Dose for dads, trying to get parenting tips for fathers. Well, few things. One, the most common question I got is, what the hell is ABA? What is it? Are you a behavior analyst? Are you analyzing my behavior right now? No, I'm not on the clock, man. The other thing is, how does it work? Tell me all the ins and outs, the fun, like what you want to present this to me up front, now I got to know how it works. Lastly, which I should have probably done a little more background research, dads don't buy parenting stuff. It's all moms. I literally did a father's conference that was a national one. 95% of the people in the room, when it was only supposed to be for fathers, were all mothers. Dads, step it up, okay? And so I said, all right, that's not working. But a group of 5 women who were all public school teachers in the Pasadena area changed the game for me. Right when pandemic kind of hit, and at that time I was coaching, I'll be jumping around my timeline, they reached out and said, hey, would you be willing to kind of hold a boot camp for us at the Rose Bowl? Oh yeah, group money, same amount of time, I'm game, let's go. And I started out with, Let me take your baseline. Let me get all this information. Let me show you your data. Let me show you your graphs. And one day I showed up and I could tell like it just wasn't going well the first couple weeks. And I showed up and go, all right, I'm gonna give you guys a choice. You wanna do this kind of workout today or this kind of workout? Pick what you wanna do. One of these women looked me dead in the eye and said, we make decisions all day, every day. We come here to be told what to do. That changed everything. Changed everything for me. So I said, all right, I got you. Let's take a week off. When we come back, it's a new day. Here's how my fitness training works now. First off, I run you through an assessment, but I don't call it that. The very first day, let's see what you can do. Put them through the ringer. And I'm recording all that stuff down, right? Then I go, if you trust me enough, bring me your scale for the next one, because I don't want you touching the scale throughout our process. Then I say this, let me ask a question. How many of you, and be honest, because I got it too, how many of you have an outfit in the closet that does not fit anymore, but you won't throw it away because you hope one day you're gonna get back into that outfit? Right? Yep, me too, I do. I say, you know what? Do me a favor. Go home, shut your bedroom door, wait till everyone's gone. I want you to put on that outfit, stand in that mirror, take a picture of yourself. I don't want you to send it to me. That's just for you. Do that, and then stick that outfit right back in the closet. Now, as we progress through training, I'm keeping track of their stuff, never presenting it to them. I see what's going on. I'm progressively loading them with more and more weight or more endurance and stamina exercises. And then around 6 to 8 months, something happens with that consistency. Oh, their body structure's changed. Even their skin glow has changed. Their confidence, they're walking taller. They're showing up ready to work. They're out working what I've prepared for them. And I see the body structure change and I go, hey, come here, go home and try that dress on again. And lo and behold, it fits or fits differently. I got a client for life. I have a client for life. I never had to show them a line graph of their progress. I showed them something real world that really helped them feel better about themselves and why they were there showing up. You see, I feel like we often want to throw our knowledge at folks so much because we love the science. We spent so many years in school for it. We prepped for this hard-ass exam and we passed it and we're so passionate. They don't care. How many parents have you walked in and sat down with and they just glaze over the moment you start using terminology, right? I always make it analogous to the electrician. Your breaker goes out in your house. You're calling an electrician. Do you want to know how the city grid works to pump in electricity in through your house grid to turn your lights on? Or you want them to turn your lights on? Now you might say, well, that's not teaching them anything. No, because then I'll go, how do I prevent this from happening next time? What do I do if it does happen? I still haven't learned about the electrical grid. You just show me a way. Next time, just flip these breakers, you'll be just fine. And if not, call me. Cool. I got what I needed. Things are changed. Framework outside of ABA and effectiveness leadership utilizing ABA. I'm going to start backwards here. This is where my moment of my biggest entrepreneurship. If you haven't tried Supernatural VR, go do it. It's dope. Like a lot of people say, VR is not fitness. I don't sweat like that unless I'm playing basketball. You just don't. And it's so fun and it's so amazing. I won't go into all that it is. But I play my role as number 2 to our head fitness coach, Coach Leanne. She's the one who got me the audition to get the job. Why? Because before I was working as a university professor. They offered me full-time. I didn't read the fine print. I signed the contract, and what it said was you have to, as a full-time professor, you have to teach 4 classes a term with max students, 32, and we structured it so that there's a paper every 3 weeks for every class, and you got 5 days to grade them when they're turned in. That's over 120 papers in 5 days to grade as a grad school professor. Am I giving real feedback at that point? Nope. I'm just marking shit. That's all I'm doing. And I got burned out and said, I'm fed up with this. I quit. I'm done. I need to find something that's still going to keep me doing what I love to do, but a little less taxing on the brain. And I got a job at a boutique treadmill fitness studio where they did HIIT classes, and like I was the guy with this thing on, walking around the class, pumping you up. And Leanne was the head fitness manager there who interviewed me and hired me. She left. 6 months later, I get a text. Want to be a virtual reality fitness instructor? I don't know what the hell that means, but I'm game, right? And so people will go, oh, so it's who you know. No, that's the first step. Who you know is important, but why do they know you? How do they know you? What do they know about you, and how did you make them feel? Extremely important. And now, guess what I do when I'm there? She's the head fitness coach. I play my role as number 2 damn well. I do. I have no desire to go above her. She's got me. She's had me from day one. And I get to come in once a week to then be projected out to over a city's population worth of people. I can't give the exact number because we don't want to release that. Now acquired by Meta, who's going to put us international. But in these rooms, I get to give my input on brain studies, shaping, tutorials. We got different reinforcement ratios, public posting, leaderboards, points, trophies, a goal setting with our journeys. I mean, there's everything you can think of going inside there that is behavior analysis. And as a BCBAD, I get to go, I know a little something about that. You want some help? I got you. Don't worry. I've created things inside the app that no other coach has. For example, I'm coming up on my 100th written and recorded guided meditation inside the headset. And you might go, that's not behavior analysis. Hell, if it ain't, it's verbal behavior. Listener and speaker inside the same skin, by proxy, hearing my voice, telling you the things you should be telling yourself every day with positive affirmations. It all aligns. You guys know that. You walk outside and you see every single day what's going on and go, that's behavior analysis. Oh, if that parent would just do that in the grocery line, things would be a lot different, right? Going to high school football. When I started, I came on as assistant because, again, I didn't know what to do, and our head coach was horrible, and our athletic director knew I was about to walk out the door. But I was coming from a college program that was real and knew about things, knew about the sport. And he pulled me in the office and says, I'm going to fire this dude. Are you willing to take the job? And I'm like, I'm 23 years old, man. Like, these kids barely old enough to be their brother, right? But I do it. I'll do it. What did I do? I imitated my model. I don't know how many people in here played sports, any sport growing up, but if you're my age, your coach was not giving out participation trophies. We had a coach that used to grab us by the face mask, yell and scream, and then to hype us up before games with his bare head, headbutt our helmet. He'd be bleeding down the middle of his forehead before the game started. Like, that's the first thing the medical staff has to do and is on deck ready before the game starts, right? So what did I do? Yelling, screaming, in these kids' faces. I went 3-14-1. Now, why is that number odd? Because we had so many kids not want to come out and play for me that at one point, I was down to only 12 guys on the field, my 12th being my kicker, and I looked to him like, you ready to go in? He's like, Coach, I ain't going in there. And I had to forfeit 3 games just to get our guys healthy. And I go, wait a minute, something's not right. My study was published. Behavior analysis works in so many avenues. Why am I not doing this in this moment? And what made me really think about that was my eldest son, who's about to turn 14, when he was 4, maybe 3. He's walking around the house with headphones on, and he's talking. And I think he's singing, but there's nothing plugged in. And I'm like, let me peek around the corner and just watch this guy. And he's pacing back and forth the same way I'm doing now, takes his headphones and throws them against the wall. Whoa, what are you doing, son? I'm playing football, coach. Game changer. All right, I need to switch this up. Complete 180. Started using ABA technologies within our football program. Something as simple as, here's an Excel spreadsheet with every player's name and every day of the week on it. I'm going to code for myself what kind of feedback I've given them, praise, whatever it is, not so that everyone has an equal ratio, because guess what? That's not how sports work. But to make sure that everyone gets contact with me. Because the star is going to be the star. The kid who's never gonna play, he probably ain't even showing up to practice. It's that kid in the middle who will never get the shine, but without him, we don't go anywhere. We don't do a thing. Complete 180. Ended up having 4 state academic championships where we had the greatest GPA of all the schools in California on a football team. Because one of my rules, you sit in the front row of every single class during football season, I'm a spot check it. If I catch you out of that, you owe me, and you don't want to owe me, right? Ended up being playing for a league title for the first time in 10 years, making playoffs for the first time in 10 years, winning a playoff game for the first time in 12 years. I was named LA County by the journalists in there, LA County's head coach of the year. My school didn't care. And guess what I do when people don't care? After I put in all this effort and work, see you later. Bye. I have more value and worth for myself than you're showing me right now. At that time, the rival high school, I became best friends with their head coach, and he was the first person I told, I'm leaving, man. He's like, come be co-head coach with me. I can't do that. I can't coach against my seniors. 2 years passed, got a phone call. Your seniors are gone. Come coach. Said, I won't be your co-head coach. I'll be your assistant head and defensive coordinator. Position's yours. Whoever's in is gone. It's yours. Get there, the athletic director goes, I've seen you before in our games and you're a little too fiery. Like, I think I'm gonna put you up in the booth. Like, I don't want you on the field. Changed everything. All of a sudden, I was no longer invested emotionally to the point where I couldn't see what was happening. Now I'm removed. I'm still up there cursing and smacking the board, but I'm removed and can see everything from a bird's eye view, pulling myself back and seeing the bigger picture of everything. We end up winning 3 California State academic championships. Out of the 8 years I was there, we won League 5. We played for a league title all 8. We did so well in the playoffs, it used to be based off of your division, based off of school size. They switched it to your level of competition, that as the lowest level in California starting because of our school size, we were now playing Division 4 teams in playoffs and wiping the floor with them. We knew our players. We didn't have the best. We had some really smart kids though. So we coached them up and prepped them as if they were taking an SAT exam. And they did really, really well. And I found my opposite side. Here's something else for you guys. If you are searching to start to do something on your own, find the other side of your coin. Find that person who's gonna hold you accountable and who does what you don't do. The head coach there, I loved his vision, and he was all about, the motto was give 100%, do what's right, and love each other. I believe in that. But also, I'm the coach that at halftime, I'm gonna shut the door and kick out all the trainers, and I'm gonna lay into you when you need it. But I'm also the coach on the field going, who are you taking to prom? How's things going at home? What book you reading right now? I know, every time I see you, you got a book. What are you reading? Oh, I got a book for you. Here, check this out. You might like that, right? And he spent 60 hours a week watching film. Me, 10 to 15. I didn't want to be a head coach. I didn't. I'd rather do what I loved, which was coaching football, dealing with these kids. I didn't want to deal with referees, pay, bus schedules, conditioning equipment, making sure all the other coaches were on board. I'm cool, man. I just want to do what I love. And I'm going to do it damn well if you let me. Which is then being able to do all these talks and share all this information has led to me supervising a lot of students independently. I get calls all over the country after giving talks about, hey, do you do any supervision? Yeah, this is the cost, and this is how I get down, so just know up front what you're getting into, because there's no one else for them to go to. Something I fell into by default, by doing me, no one else does it. So when you have a student or employee who goes, I really want to try to apply something to soccer, but I don't know what to do. You know, I saw this dude, and he does something really crazy at the end of every presentation he ever gives. He gives his personal phone number and email address. Maybe you could reach out to him. And I do. I will give it up here, because 99% of the people won't use it. But there will be one person who reaches out, and I'll help them, right? So when I get these calls, I really focus on real-world practicality. not this academic standard. I know academia like the back of my hand. Like I said, I've been teaching grad school for 16 years now. I don't know if you guys have ever had Hank Schlinger as a professor. It ain't fun at all. You miss a single article like a or an in a verbal behavior quiz, completely wrong. So I know what I'm doing, but for these folks who want to step out into a different world, that's not what they need. Now I'm going to tell them to stay up on the science. I'm going to tell them make sure that you are competent so that you can be confident in your abilities, but I'm going to tell you the real. So that way you can do what you love, get paid handsomely for it, but you got to put in the work. Now here's my greatest advice, whether it's supervisors, people venturing outside of autism, even folks within autism, any industry. Know the damn language. Know it. I'm a BCBAD with a PhD and Master's in Applied Behavior Analysis. If any of one of you walked into my coaching office and went, hey, I can make your team so great, I can help shape up all the behaviors you need, I'm telling you, I got this. I'll go, okay, here's an Expo marker. Draw 3-5 cover 0 defense against a pistol offense set. If you can't do that, you can't work with me. Why do you want to teach someone else their language before knowing theirs? Why? We ask these families and so many people to go, you got to understand what this is and what this is and know this terminology. But yet have we ever stopped and just been like, where are you from? What's your name? What are you guys into? What's the family life like? That's the biggest advice I give for anybody. Know who you're talking to and how to talk to them. You have to. Because if you just spit jargon at them, eventually they're going to walk away. Now, we do have those parents who will go buy the textbooks, who will read through everything and challenge you on it, right? Tell them to pursue the same thing that you're doing. They obviously have an interest in it. But my clients did not go to graduate school to learn behavior analysis. It's not my job to teach them that whatsoever. I love the science. I love it. They just want help. They didn't want to learn something brand new. They're calling you because they're at their ends wit and don't know what to do. And here you come asking them to learn something in a week that took you 3 to 5 years to learn, that you're still learning and growing every single day. You got to be able to speak the language of the people that you're working with at all times. Practicality, back to the real. Number 2 may be a better fit for you. Number 3, number 4. Not just within your organization, but what about if you're a CEO? Do you have to be the number 1 leader in the entire world of whatever it is that you do? Is there enough wealth to go around? Are there enough people to help? And you got to ask yourself, what is it that I actually want and why? We push this narrative of being a leader that you have to be at the top. You've got to be the Jeff Bezos, the Steve Jobs. You've got to be these folks who are, Oprah Winfrey, who are just the number one. And anyone who ever comes to me and talks about that or looking for advice, I go, well, why do you want that? Is it money? Is it fame? Is it to be able to take vacations in Turks and Caicos? Which is fine, as long as you're honest with yourself about that. Be real about that. Because if it's about making an impact, you can do that by living in a studio apartment. You really can. You don't need to have a 6-bedroom home to make an impact globally. So what is it really for you? For me, my number 1 priority, family. I want to be able to purchase land, build homes on those land for each one of my family members, even if they don't live there, so they know they can come back to it anytime they want. That's it. Don't care about anything else with respect to what I want in terms of my vision. Do I impact and help people? Yes. Is that wonderful? Yes, I believe so, right? But my number 1 priority is my family, because that's all I had growing up. So that's what I always keep in mind in every single thing that I do. So you need to know why it is that you want to be number 1 or that leader. And as some of the entrepreneurs stepped up here and showed you, some of them don't want to be that. Those are the ones you get on your squad. Those are the ones that are going to help you rise to whatever heights you want. But I know one thing, and I heard Brett talk about it, you better turn around and help them get to whatever height they want. You got someone in your workforce who wants to, let's say it's an autism agency and they want to write a book or climb Mount Everest. Why aren't you asking them about that in passing at the water cooler? Hey, have you started looking at Mount Everest yet? Planning out the trip? How's the chapter going on that book? Giving them some love and support for the things that they want, guess what they turn around and do for you? They give you everything back. I see it in my football players. I love and support you. That's why they'll run through a brick wall for me. I'll never forget this one young man. Actually, I'm gonna give you two stories on this. Jack Wilson. It's my first year coaching at the second school. New defense, new coach, looks kind of scary, walking around with tattoos. He always keeps his stimulus control. I had glasses on at all times. Rain, sun, shine, indoors, outdoors, because when I took my glasses off, you know that was your ass. Otherwise, they were on, right? Big game, title game, he gets burnt for a touchdown. First thing he does is look to me at the sideline. Head down, put your head up. You got this. Take an inside jab step, put that inside hand up. He's gonna run outside, drop it to the hip. You're good. 2 quarters later, he makes the winning interception. What does that kid do as he comes running over for his first league title as a senior? Gives me a hug, someone he's only known for 4 or 5 months, and goes, "Thank you for trusting me, coach, for not taking me out." Another kid, Kurt. Kurt was what you would call the class clown. When I implemented my rule of front row, he ended up going to USC, wasn't playing football, but about his junior year, I get a phone call from a random number, but it's 626, it's my city. I happen to have my phone near me, so I saw the thing flash because it didn't ring. And I go, 626, okay, I'll pick that up. Hey, coach, I just want to tell you, I've never had a better GPA before in my life. I have stuck to sitting in the front row of every single class. My parents are super proud of me. This is the class clown. So lead from where you are. Know your lane and your skill set. It doesn't mean you can't learn and grow. Doesn't mean you can't have ambitions, but understand where you are in the moment and find that complementary counterpart. That other coach used to call me the other side of his coin, we're gonna hold each other accountable. We're gonna make sure that we're on point for this vision, but I'm gonna do it my way, you're gonna do it your way, and it's gonna work for different folks, but we'll make it all work together. A tool, not a toolbox. I always hear ABA as the entire tool set. It's not. It's not. Me being able to get to know you and having some rapport building skills, super important. Me having football knowledge, super important. Me having fitness knowledge, super important. Now this may be a tool I use all the time that gets worn out and I have to buy a new one or, read back up on things. And it may be the most important tool in my tool set, but it's not everything, because it's not everything to everyone else in the world. It's everything to us, not to them. Use your tools right. And it's not a field when you're outside of traditional avenues. And what I mean by that is people always reach out and go, hey, how do I get started in ABA in sports and fitness? That doesn't exist outside of a special interest group in ABAI. You're not gonna go on Indeed or LinkedIn and find behavior analyst fitness instructor, behavior analyst football coach. No, you'll find football coach everywhere. You'll find fitness instructor everywhere. You go find the job you want, get hired, and you bring that as ammunition in your back pocket that no one knows you have. Because guess what happens? We know the science works. You're gonna be efficient and effective. You're gonna get outcomes and results that other people aren't getting. And then all of a sudden, here comes the boss. What are you doing? Here comes my client. How are you getting these results from us? Oh, it's this thing called behavior analysis. Now I got you. Now you're curious. What is ABA? Tell me more about it, as opposed to ABA right up front. Now I've reeled you in. And again, they don't need to know the tools we're using. You don't know the tools your plumber uses. Your toilet flushes though, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. And you say thank you, and you might even tip them or get them a glass of lemonade or water while they're there. People, 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 build relationships. I said this at the end of the webinar, all my stocks are in relationships. The greatest currency you can have as a leader, entrepreneur, or human being is to be a person first and a behavior analyst second. I truly believe it. I go back to talking about how it's not just who you know, why they know you, how they know you, what they know about you, how you made them feel. Do I know a bunch of people? Yes. Will I work with all of them? No. But I know some people better than I know others. This is what will propel you to new heights in any venture or business that you have. Now, I'm going to put someone on blast in the room. I got to have a conversation last night at dinner with Christina, where we didn't talk behavior analysis at all. We talked about our life. She and I were both vulnerable enough to share about things that you probably wouldn't want other people to know about you. I know all about her business. I know about all the stuff that amazing things she's doing in ABA, but I know her, and she knows me. So now, when she starts the podcast she's going to start, putting you on blast, she can feel comfortable reaching out because she knows I'm going to help her put that thing together with the knowledge that I have. And if there's something else that pops up that maybe, I come into her mind, she's going to feel comfortable enough to call me. Not because we had dinner in passing, but because we talked about real life stuff. A relationship was formed. And even if nothing comes out of that in terms of business, I get to see her and give her a hug at a conference. Ain't that worth something? Those are the folks that are going to take your business, whatever you do, to the next level. Those relationships that you build. So make sure, in my opinion, in my honest, humble, professional opinion, that you're always you as a human being first before you are a behavior analyst. If you want to do anything within autism, outside of autism, for yourself, for your employees, for others, for this world, period. And as promised, that is my social handle, my personal email, and my personal cell phone number. Give it out at the end of every talk. Don't hesitate to use it. I say that all the time, but most people won't. Relationships, right? You never know what's going to come from anything that you do. So be aware of that. I don't think I have time for Q&A, but thank you for your time and generosity for being here.